Alright, we are back for an official day 4 of training. I haven't played or done anything with the boys for the past 2 days since I had the wedding 2 days ago, and then yesterday was Black Friday. I was busy shopping from my small ambassador companies, so I did choose a couple of them, so I'll be announcing those eventually when I get their packages. So Tango is right behind me. I know I just had him in the camera angle. Sugarfoot is literally pushing me forward, or pushing me backwards. He's right in front of me. So I'm gonna try and grab Tango, see how he does. They both know that I have my treat pouch on me right now. They were both nibbling at it. So we just went out of camera angle. We're gonna see if he'll come over towards me. Come on. Of course, this one. Of course, Sugarfoot still partially shaved. I killed the clippers, so the blades have to get resharpened. So it's gonna be quite a while since he gets shaved again, or actually completed. Alright. And Sugarfoot is a little jealous. I'll actually be doing quite a bit with him today, since I've kind of neglected him since I've been here. Yes, I know. You want love. I will give you love. It's a little bit harder for me to get Tango just because Sugarfoot is with me. But of course, it's something with patience. You have to wait for him to actually come near. Can you stop backing up, please? So he is moving further away, so I'm going to change the camera angle right here just to be further out into their, or to be seen further out into their paddock. I'm actually going to grab one of their feed buckets since I don't want to give Tango any treats by hand. So I'm just going to walk over here and grab one of their buckets. Alright, hello everyone. Yes, so today was day 4, well, official day 4 of training with Tango. So, because I couldn't catch him in the beginning, I decided to refer back to the bucket method that I've been using when we were in the stall. But of course, as you can see, Sugarfoot got in the way of this entire time of trying to use the bucket, and I also didn't have my clicker, which was just a pain. But more of Sugarfoot was the pain of all of this. And so eventually I decided to just quit with it, which should be shown in like a minute or so, not even. Yeah, so I decided to call it quits right there since it wasn't working. So at this point, I returned the bucket back to the fence. I waited for them to come back over, and I was getting my rope ready. I believe this was when I was going to basically lasso him in a way, or at least try and get him close enough to me to get the rope over his head and onto his neck, and there I tried to reach for his halter just to see what he would do, and of course he still hasn't gained that trust yet. and he backed away. So here, once again, Sugarfoot is always in the way, always wanting treats. So I kind of was just putting the lead up to his nose, see what he would do. As we did this exercise, the first or second day of working together with his halter. So, of course, Sugar's in the way, of course. I had to wait for Tango to come back over, or at least myself, go back over to him. And Sugarfoot in the way again. So since we were getting further away from the camera, I decided to just drag Sugarfoot over back to where we were closer to the camera and work again there. Try and get him closer. So as you can see, I actually have a treat in my hand, and I'm encouraging his head to go through the rope. And as you just saw, I was backing Sugarfoot up just to get him away from us. And we'll go over that technique that I used once Tango is cooperating a lot better. As you can see, he was getting closer, about halfway, and so I decided to throw it over, and I was successful with that. Of course, he did run away, but the rope was on, was around him, and I wasn't too worried of him hurting himself. As you can see, he was walking back towards us, and he had already been dragging a rope behind him for many months, even before I had gotten him. So there, I just grabbed the bucket again, trying to encourage him to come towards me so I can grab the rope. And I was trying to, of course, go to the side of him, see if he'll let me come up to him and grab the rope that way, but that wasn't still working. So, since this is a 13-foot lunge line, I had just gone to the end of it and collected the rope from there. So I was returning the bucket to the fence once again, and I should be making my way back to the camera. At this point, I was going to work on going up to the side of him just to unclip the lead rope or the lunge line to clip it to his halter. There, he got impatient. That's something that I have to fix in the future, as I can't do that right now just because of his trust issues with me still. But we've only been working for exactly, hasn't been exactly a week yet, but almost a week. So when I was trying to unclip the rope, he did get away from me, but luckily the rope was still on him, and I was able to just grab him that way. And of course I have to give Sugars a hug. He's my sweet boy. So I believe at this point I was able to grab the rope again and walk back towards the camera. So when I got back over here, I once again restarted and worked on trying to grab, or at least go up to the side of him and grab the rope to connect it to his, to his halter. So as you can see there, I was able to touch the rope for a second, and we are out of frame, but at this point I was able, it took me probably a minute or so, but I was able to connect the lead to his halter, and then we walked out from there. So at this point, he was being a little bit sticky with not wanting to walk forward, but we were going to change over to the stall at this time. Alright, so we are now in the stall. I'm just getting myself situated. We are at a new camera angle, so we're in a different stall today. It'll give us more light for the camera. So I'm just going to put him back again. And today we will be working with the 8-foot Star Point horsemanship lead. This is different than the 13-foot lunge line that I've been using with him. So today we're going to be teaching him, or desensitizing him to the lead rope for the first time. So I'm expecting him to blow up and hopefully not knock my camera down. So first thing I'm going to do is just throw the rope at him. And this will be a continuous thing that you do with him until... I'm going to also try and keep his head pointed towards... pointed towards me. So we're going to do this until he stops moving and at least relaxes, which we're probably out of angle view right now. And there we go. Either way, if I'm out of angle view, we are still training. So I will show this example off once he gets better at it and we're in the round 10 working in a larger area. So he's in the corner right now against the wall, but he is standing still, so I'll do one more throw and relax. And bring him back into camera angle and see. Here we go. There we go. Wait. So I am moving a little bit quicker with him today as a loud rider or loud owner. How do they put it? I know there's a saying for it. There's a saying like if you're loud around your horse, the quieter they are. So there's a saying like that. I can't remember it exactly, but as you can see, he is...
A loud owner has a quiet horse, a quiet owner has a...
spooky horse? Something like that. Good boy. That was quick. He's licking and chewing. That's one of the signs of relaxation. Good boy. Hoping maybe off camera I'll do something with his mane. There are burrs in it, which I hate. I think Parker also has burrs in his mane too. Look how quiet he is now. See, that's not so bad. So this method is used with most trainers of what I've seen on YouTube, some of the most world-renowned trainers. So since he's doing well on that side, I'm going to be switching to his right side, which is his weakest side. So once again, just going to start throwing the rope at him. Of course, I'm on a new side, so new brain, he might react differently. So he is shooting his head up just a little bit every time that I throw the rope, or try to throw the rope over him. So right now I'm trying to aim for his withers and his back, which is their least sensitive part, and I am kind of just throwing it at him, so wherever it lands, I can't take that back. So I am waiting for him to just quietly stop throwing his head, and of course that's going to be something that is done over time to get him more quiet. So I'm going to throw one more time in there. Good boy. That's where he's still, his legs are still kind of tucked under him, which I know if he wanted to spook, he could just go that way. So I'm going to do the side again. And so after he gets good at throwing the lead is when we will switch to, I'm going to demonstrate, and I know he's probably going to go to the side, but hitting the ground like that. So that's something, he didn't really move at all for that, but that's something that I'm probably going to have to get my lunge line for, since this is a shorter rope. So I'm just going to throw this one more time over it, just a couple of times. See how he does. So far, he's actually doing fairly well. He did calm down quite quickly. All horses are differently. I was expecting him to be much more explosive with this, but I'm only aiming for his withers and back. So if I go from behind, and I'll stay on this side right now, if I go behind, I'm trying to get this rope as a little closer here. But if I go behind, as you can see, that's something, their legs are their most sensitive part. So we always work from their withers and back. Trying to remember the order. I think it's either their neck, I think it's shoulders and back, head and neck, their croup or their butt, and then their legs. I think that's the order. If I'm wrong, voice over me will say what it is. Good boy. So I'm going to bring him back to the center and switch sides with him. And once again, we're on a new side. He could react differently on this side. I'm trying to keep my left hand as stationary as I can, so that the rope that's being thrown is not tugging on his head every time that it's being thrown. So now I'm going to step back and go to his neck. As you can see, it's wrapping around him. That's what I'm looking for him to stay calm with that. So if he starts moving, I'm just going to continue throwing it until he stops again. I'm going to throw it one more time. Good boy. And this time I'm actually going to rub him with it, as I didn't do that in the beginning. So we're going to do that. It's all over. I know. Normally you would start out with rubbing them with the rope. I totally forgot to do that. Went in right to the second step, which he's actually doing fairly well with. And of course, I'll be doing this more with him, rubbing it down with him. I'm gonna try and touch his leg and see what he does. He did try and, yeah, see how he's turning. So that's something we'll have to work on. And I'm definitely not touching his back legs if he's wanting to bite me with his front. Where he's flinching every time that I'm back here rubbing him on his legs. He does flinch, or his back legs, I should say. Let's clarify. His back legs, yeah. See how he's acting? So I'm going to switch sides because I don't know how long this video is already going to be. So, once again, I'm just going to throw the rope just one more time over him on this side, and then, yeah. I'm going to rub him, and then rub him with the rope. See how he's keeping his head towards me. That's what he did the other day when he bit my arm.
Now you know. You're
Yeah.
more aware.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on where his head is. I definitely want to brush his mane out, so
You want me to
it's
get
just
your
so
brush?
hard. It's just so hard to work.
You want me to get your brush?
No, I'll do it off camera. just doing demonstrations right now. And then I'll work more with an off camera with this. Hopefully he'll enjoy this soon enough. I do know he loves this stuff. That's something I figured out the other day. Oh, you're such a good boy. You notice I actually I'm not actually holding the lever right now.
That's good.
I know he's gonna kind of run up and pick up his. So something, the least area that we've worked with is touching his face. So I'm gonna keep my hand up at his paw, which because he keeps moving away, I'm gonna wait until he stops moving. There we go. There you go. And I'm gonna take my hand away and rub him somewhere else. Yeah, my camera. Is that there? Good boy. I'm gonna put my hand up at his pole again. And then keep my hand over here so he's not pulling on the lead. So his head, he is very head shy right now. So I'm just working up at his pole where I have to put his halter on. So the pole is where I'm going to be working the most because he lets me put the halter on, but not when he's near, or not when he's on the lead and I have control of him. He has such cute ears. So I'm moving down over where his forelock is, where let's move a little bit this way. Back at the camera angle. There we go. So I'm at his forelock, this type of area. Good boy. Good boy. Did you hear him breathe? I'm making back down. Oh, that's not good, buddy. He's like, I think I'm gonna like this. Way. His bridle path. His bridle path is so thick. Oh, impatient boy.
No, it's supplies.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, it's
supplies
on
are
his
landing
leg.
on him.
So now I'm gonna run my hand down his cheek. I know this has been a sensitive area for him too. His eyes are watering. Yeah, I don't think it would be allergies because he hasn't had any of those signs. So I'm just gonna rub my hand on his cheek. Sure, he's flinching a little bit. Do want to try and keep his head tilted towards me, so I mean he can't really go anywhere, but it's a good habit for him to get into. He just spooked at something. He just flinched. Favorite are cheeks. I love little cheeks. Oh boy. I'm going to switch sides, go into his left. I'm going to put my hand back up near his pole. Even though it's in the center of his body, we're still going to work down onto his face. And then into the forelock. I know Sugarfoot loves this. He's very cute. Alright, we are back with a second time lapse. So here I just continued to just rub on his face, and I switch over to his neck, but he is still very head shy, and so that's probably going to be the thing that we work on the most, but will probably take the longest to fix, just because of how shy he is. And as you guys saw in the beginning of the video, he is still a pain to catch, and so, which him being head shy is part of why he is hard to catch. And here I'm just fixing his halter as it was loose on him, since it's been on him for a few days. And I apologize if there's crunching in the video. I have my dog sitting right next to me. He's eating a bone. So I just continued to rub him. He was getting better at it, but it's just an everyday thing that needs to be done. There, I got a little kiss from him, which is adorable. He has a very soft nose. So I switch over to his neck and switch back to his face. It's just going to be a lot of repetition with his head and rubbing him and touching him. Here I started to mess around with his ears. I didn't do too much with it. That's going to be something that we also work on, is him having his ears touched, as when he becomes a therapy, or when we start working for him to be a therapy horse, that is going to be something that he can't be afraid of, or he has to be accepting to him being touched all over. So here he did just back up, so I tried and walk him forward. He didn't really want to move. But today was actually quite a frustrating day, as after we had gotten done, he did get loose from me when I was turning him out. But once again, we're going to keep working on it, and I will see you guys in the next video.